Johnny Cash got me through Last Comic Standing. Like that.
Oh.
I read 2 of his books, and for some reason he spoke to me. Like, I was trying to think, like, I'm gonna be on TV. I gotta read up on somebody that's been on TV. I was like, Johnny Cash. And so I read everything there was to know about Johnny Cash. And
did you look at the audience like it was a Folsom Prison? Yeah.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, then listen to Pocket Party.
And we're back. Hey, everybody, it's your host, Darren Carter, the
Party Starter.
Yes, the Party Starter. I had the pleasure of having one of the best guests. Me. So stupid, right? I was a guest on somebody else's podcast, and I'm going to be playing it on this podcast. So we did sort of a swap cast, and it's Kristin Key. She's amazing. She should have her own talk show, which she kind of does right now, like on the internet. I mean, she's really good. She's so good, and she's just amazing. And her name is Kristin Key. She's a great comedian. She's hilarious. I've known her for a long time. You probably know her from Last Comic Standing and a million other things. And her last name is Key, and I find this hilarious. Her fans are called Keyholes. So if there's any Keyholes watching, thank you. Thanks for checking out the Party Starter.
Party Starter.
Which I'm starting a party solo right now. The introduction by myself in my little cabin here. But you know what? I'm in honor of Kristin. She's from Amarillo, Texas. I got my little Texas mug and drinking my coffee.
Party Starter. So if
we go down memory lane on this episode, and it is fantastic. I mean, she reached out to me. She said, hey, what do you have, like 3 hobbies or 3 things that you're passionate about? Send me a list. She chose something from the list. Boom, we talk about it. And even if this isn't your topic that you're into, I think you'll get a kick out of it, just our rapport and some of the things that we talk about. So I want to thank you guys for checking out the Pocket Party Podcast, episode 183. And if you get a chance, do me a favor and go through my YouTube channel and just leave comments and kind of, if you see something you want to share on other platforms, share. Help out that algorithm. All that stuff helps. You hit like, you hit subscribe, you hit share. It helps. All right. We want to bring joy to the world. And this is an easy way to do it. It's free and it's fun. And I thank you. Okay. Enough of me talking by myself. Let's start the podcast. Let's start that party in your ear holes. And I'll see you soon. Thank you.
My guest this week is a hilarious comedian. I love watching him live. You may have seen him on The Tonight Show. You might have seen him on Comics Unleashed, Premium Blend. If you've seen him, you know he is the Party Starter. Hey, computer lady, play that interview with Darren Carter.
Playing interview with Darren Carter, the Party Starter.
Darren Carter, the Party Starter. Thank you for doing this podcast today.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me on. Thank you so much. I've been looking forward to it ever since I got the invite. So appreciate you. Thank you.
Me too. And mainly because, I mean, you think that by now I would learn not to assume things about comedians, but because, like, I love your show. I love that you, like, I don't know how you put it, but I feel like you make us all feel like, you know, we're at a dance party at your show.
Thank you. Yeah, you know what? And I've leaned into that even more, man, where I'm like, for me personally, I'm like, because I was always like, a little bit dirty, but not too much, but just enough dirty to get me out of the high paying gigs. And also, you know what I mean? Like I'm clean and then out of nowhere, bam, F-bomb. And I'm like, what am I doing? So around 10 years ago, I thought, you know, I better just slowly learn how to like not do that. Cause I mean, people are great at it, go for it. But I was just like, I wasn't great at it. So, and plus, I don't know, just some of the topics I choose and stuff, I think it is more of like you said, because, you know, I go with Darren Carter, the Party Starter, and I'm like, let's start that party. You know, and I'm hitting him with that. And I, by the way, the other night, man, you lit up the stage so good. Like your opening line, the bam and the boom. And that's what I love about the kind of comedy that we do. It's like, it makes the audience feel good. It's like we're bringing them a little joy machine, you know, and
it's an escape. You create an escape.
It's an escape.
It's an escape room. Somehow.
Yeah. Exactly.
You're not getting out of this escape room. Yeah.
That's right. We're here. Let's do it. I know.
No, because you get your flashlight and you find people, but when you find people, they're not like, they're like,
no. Yeah.
what's gonna happen?
Yeah, exactly. I try to make it like that, and I try to not, I don't put it in their eyes. I'm like, all right, we're good. Like, here's an example. I was watching a lot of like romantic singers. They might do these romance ballads. So for one day, as a goof, I said, I was in Vegas, I think, and I go, they have romantic singers. I go, I'm a romantic comedian, and I said, if you're with someone you love, put your arm around them, put your hand on them, let them know they're loved. And I made a little joke. I go, if you're by yourself, give yourself a hug, and I said, when the light hits you, I want you to give a little kiss on the cheek. That's what I'm saying. I don't go dirty. I'm not like, mime, I'm just like, yeah. And so they do a little, so they feel safe. They know I'm not going to like light them up with the flashlight and be like, this mother effer here. What did you just, you know what I mean? I'm like, no. So I usually try to go positive with it. Like there was a couple the other night, they've been together since 1962. And I just started in my Rolodex of my mind. I just started thinking of the different songs that were out there, and it made them feel good. And then I moved back on and got back with the comedy. But I wasn't like, boy, I bet you guys are having sex and acting it out. And I'm like, you know what? Just go positive with it for me. You know what I mean? It seems to help. It seems to help everything. It helps me, and it just helps.
I always ask the guests, what's something you're into? What's some topics you know a lot about? Yeah. And I just expected it to be like, I don't know, like rap or like party music. And so when you hit me with old school country Tom T. Hall, I mean, I love the feeling when comedians constantly surprise me. But it's where did that come from?
I think it originally started when I was growing up. I grew up in Fresno, California. I don't know if you know Fresno. It's like
I've been through it.
Fresno. Yeah, it's like it's like you're from Amarillo, Texas, I think.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I'm not bragging.
So it's like so Fresno is like the Central Valley, like Sacramento, Modesto, Bakersfield. Like it's very, like it's not what people picture when they picture California,
right.
And so growing up in Fresno, I used to, I was there.
Oh my God, it changes you so much.
Does it really?
That's you hilarious. Look just like a guy I went to high school with. Oh my God.
I got this actually initially as a prop because Jeff Bezos just came back from outer space. And he was wearing a cowboy hat. And then my friend took a picture and he goes, is this Jeff Bezos returning from space or Darren Carter getting ready to headline his hometown Fresno? So I said, I got to buy this hat. So I got the hat. And,
oh my God. You morph into guys I grew up with. When I would never picture you like that. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. That's better.
Remember how George Strait? Yeah, he always wears the glasses. But yeah. So anyways, I grew up in Fresno, and I grew up listening to your parents' radio, like whatever they're playing in the car, or the truck, and so I got introduced to a lot of that early country's music back in the day, and then then I found the music that I kind of liked in the 80s, like you said, hip hop and some of the early hip hop stuff, and Blondie and Joan Jett, and like the whole 80s music, But then back then, like, you'd hear country music on the top 40 station, like it was all blended together. Remember, like, Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers, like Islands in the Stream. Yeah. And then years later, I realized, I guess that was country. Like there's still songs I didn't realize were country. I just remember like that song, You're Nobody Called Today. I hung up when she asked. Remember that song by Laura Branigan? I think maybe I could be wrong. Or that might be Gloria. But
I love that song. But yeah, that's not country.
Remember that song? Yeah. How about I know exactly. What about how about like a rhinestone cowboy?
Oh, I love that song. Yeah.
Yeah. Remember that? Or how about
I always pictured who was the guy that played the piano? I always pictured Liberace whenever I'd hear Rhinestone Cowboy. I'd be like, I don't think
it's true.
Cowboy, but I picture rhinestones, Liberace. I'm like, I don't think that's who they were singing about in that song.
Yeah, like a rhinestone. Yeah, but yeah. So I love Tom T. Hall. I'm sorry, you're going to say something.
I was going to talk about Tom T. Hall. He actually charted with that song "I Love You." Love little baby ducks.
Little baby ducks.
Oh man.
Yeah. Old pickup trucks. Yeah, all that stuff. And because I must have been in elementary school when that song came out, and it was like, and it just soothing voice, the imagery. It was just perfect for a kid. Well, actually, all people. That's why it went to number one. But he's naming simple things like I love little baby ducks. I love pickup trucks. I love beer. I love losers when they try, winners when they cry. And then the hook is, and I love you. And I love that song. It's simple. It gets the point across.
It's so sweet. Oh, was it Leaves in the Wind, Pictures of My Friends, Birds of the World, and Squirrels. Like his rhyme schemes would always go like you think it's going to go somewhere, but it's like he was a magnificent storyteller with his lyrics. Because I knew you were going to talk about him, I looked up some of his songs and realized me and my brother grew up to I think it's like Tom T. Hall's Kids Country album when we were kids, and it had that song and it had like the song called Sneaky Snake.
I love Sneaky Snake. I love Sneaky Snake. Yeah.
He goes wiggling through the grass. It tickles his underneath.
yeah, exactly. You think he's going to say something else, and he's like, takes a sip of my. I think he says like sip of. He sneaks a sip of my root beer. I don't. He might say beer, but I know for sure he says root beer.
It is beer. We sang root beer. I'm like, it does say beer. We sang root beer because we wouldn't even sing about alcoholic beverages.
Right.
Who knew?
I wonder if there might have been like an adult version and a children's version, because I could have swore I heard root beer, but I also. When I play it on the Spotify channel, that song comes up, and I didn't even realize that was from a children's album. It's like, that's a great song,
Well, that's the thing about those storytellers back then. I feel like Willie. I don't know. Were you a Willie Nelson fan as well?
Oh yeah.
Willie had a way
sure.
like Poncho and Lefty. Poncho and Lefty was one of my favorite. Was that Willie and Merle? Who do you sing that with?
I think so. And then I love it when him, Ray Charles and him, they'd sing. There were seven Spanish angels.
Oh my God! He looked down upon. Oh my God! If you haven't heard that, guys, I mean, we got homework for you today. But yeah, Seven Spanish Angels was one of the best. Because I grew up on Marty Robbins, and Marty Robbins was one of those.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Roses Cantina. Yeah.
The music would play and Felina would whirl.
yeah. Every time I go to El Paso, that song comes to mind, and I usually put it on my Instagram stories as I'm landing. As the plane is landing, I'll film out the window, and I'm like, back West Texas town of El Paso. I looked up on YouTube. There's a couple people have vlogged that supposedly that cantina. They're like, this is supposed to be where it's at, because the way he describes it, and they're actually. Somebody has created a business called the name of that. Is it Rosa's Cantina?
Rosa's Cantina. Yeah. This is like Marty Robbins. I want to find this out about you. I was going to ask. I grew up on some old country because my grandparents and I took a vacation. Me and my cousin Jamie and my grandparents would go on like a 2-week vacation every summer for about 5 years in a row. We'd see a bunch of national parks, driving 8 hours a day by car, but we listened to their music, not ours. And so it was all Marty Robbins and all like old radio tapes of like radio shows. And
that's cool.
So in my parents' car, it was Tom T. Hall and Anne Murray. And so now when I hear this music, it's not just like, oh, that's a good song. It's like, it puts me right back in the back of, my grandpa's ultra clean car, driving somewhere through Estes Park, Colorado, listening to these amazing, storyteller songs. And like when you hear Tom T. Hall, where does that take you back to?
Maybe, like I said in the beginning of the show, like being a better me, like not being like not that I'm but just how society is now. Sometimes it could be. I mean, it's not really. I don't know if it's really like that, but especially on our phones, when you open up your phone and there's like some people are fighting at a Walmart, or there's like I'm like I don't like that part of the world. I don't want to, and I want to go in my mind at least back to a place where people were like decent and and there was like it just takes me to a special place of like love and fun and like peacefulness, I'd say, like just with his storytelling, like. But really, when the pandemic started, like March 2020, and we're just like, oh, and you're like, what the heck? That's when I was like, you know what? I want to listen to some soothing, cool music that can like you said about our comedy, like my comedy, like it can take you as like an escape room. And he had some simple song that some of these songs that he's recorded later in life where he's talking about him and his wife just like settling down and all their whole day is just basically like giving the cat milk and just watching the sunset. And I'm like, that sounds so peaceful. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, to the wrong person, they're like, dude, that sounds boring. But I'm like, no, you don't understand. It's almost like meditational. Like I'm in the
Right.
shower and I'm playing this great music where you're just like, here, being transported to these other places. It's awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I looked up last night. I was listening to Tom T. Hall, and then I was like, that sounds like the guy who sang the song from that animated Robin Hood movie. And I had to look it up. It was Roger Miller that sang it, but that's the type of
Roger Miller.
yeah,
I
the
love
type
Roger
of music
Miller.
that you go back to oodle lolly, golly, what a day. That kind of feel.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
Yeah, Roger Miller, same thing. Like he's not. Yeah, his stories are like really silly and stuff. Like, have you ever heard that one song where it's like, you can't roller skate in a buffalo herd?
Yeah.
You can't roll stuff like that. Who would think about roller skating in a buffalo herd? And or the of course, Trailer for Rent. That's the song a lot of people know.
Yeah.
Trailer for sale or rent. It just you just
that,
picture like
it
you
has
said,
that guy snapping in the background. It's like just
room still at 50 cents. Yeah.
I'm a man of means by no means.
Yeah. King of the road. Yeah. And he's just he knows where every lock is unlocked, and he's not there to hurt nobody. He just wants to maybe take a nap in the boxcar. And he said he learns all the different train porters by name and their children and asks how they're doing. And you just picture like this. I don't know. I love those stories. And you know who else reminds me of that same kind of vein? So I started listening to Spotify, right? Like, with Tom T. Hall. And then I don't know how Spotify works, but after a certain number of like hours, I guess, they're like, let's just sneak some other stuff in there, which I'm okay with because it's like 19 hours of Tom T. Hall. You're like, that's cool. And who I've been listening to before the Oak Ridge Boys, there was the Statler Brothers.
Oh,
and
I know the Statler Brothers. Yeah.
They have so many, the same thing with that old school country that they have a song about, it's about graduation or something, or
Class of 57,
something
maybe?
about high school. Yes, Class of 57. It just does an update on everybody, from the class that they were in, like what this person's doing this person's doing that, and all you got to do is substitute the year you graduated high school to that, to 57. So obviously I didn't graduate in 57, but if I could bring it up to the year I did graduate, you start thinking about the way that people went and things that they did. And
I think which is a testament to a good storyteller song, that even though it was written in a different time, different era, different trends, different things, it's still relatable to this day. Because they also, Statler Brothers were always Flowers on the Wall. They also sang that one.
Yeah. Flowers, from the movie Pulp Fiction. That was
that little movie.
That was the movie Pulp Fiction. Yeah.
Oh, that was great. It was when Bruce Willis was tapping on the steering wheel right before he sees Marcellus Wallace cross the street. He's just jamming out to Flowers on the Wall.
Flowers on the Wall. I like that part where they go, smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. But don't tell me I have nothing to do. Like butter. Yeah. And then they also sang backup for Johnny Cash. That song, Daddy sang bass, Mama sang tenor, and then the Statler Brothers were the ones that were like, me and little brother would jump right in there.
Boy, you want to talk about a storyteller. Cool. Man, I listened to, Johnny Cash got me through Last Comic Standing. Like that. Oh. I read 2 of his books, and for some reason he spoke to me like I was trying to think, like, I'm going to be on TV. I gotta read up on somebody that's been on TV. I was like, Johnny Cash. And so I read everything there was to know about Johnny Cash. And
did you look at the audience like it was a Folsom Prison?
That was my Grand Ole Opry moment, I think.
I know. Like lately, I've been out. Listen, well, it's so funny. Lately, I've switched it over to like there's some channel on Spotify called like feel good happy music, and it's most of it is like maybe because I went down to a subgenre, but it's a lot of like music from like the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s.
I'm getting that too.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
We have similar Spotify playlists. Yeah, mine keep being like, here's the best of 1973. I'm like, how did you know? That's a great year for music. I'm in.
Sundown, you better.
Oh, God, that's a great song.
Yeah.
We could probably share Spotify playlists and be totally content.
Exactly. Because it's like, do you remember this song? I remember this song when I was in 4th grade. They played it. She wore an itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini.
Yeah.
And in this song, I don't know what I even pictured, but and then as an adult, I'm picturing like, oh, maybe someone who's like shy and stuff, and because in the song she goes from the
She
locker
was
room
afraid to come out
Yeah.
of the locker. And there's a whole song before the song. And then you get the 1, 2, 3, 4. Tell the people what she wore. It wasn't. And so there's a whole story to that song. She was afraid to come out of the locker. She didn't want anybody to see her itsy bitsy. I picture her portly because that's why she's embarrassed. You know, you don't picture a hot girl being embarrassed of her itsy bitsy bikini.
Yeah, and then at one point she's in the water, and now she's afraid to come out of the water. Like, God, everyone give her. You know, it's so funny. But my wife was telling me, I didn't see the video, but she said, like, I guess in the video I guess just to make it, you know, so everyone can watch it. I guess they made it like a little kid or something. But I'm like, I picture what you said, like more a portly woman who's like, screw it, I don't care. And then they get out there, maybe I do a little bit. Like, you know, I used to be on a swim team in high school for like 2 years. I wasn't very good. In fact, the first year I remember the first time in swim practice, I swam and then I stopped in the middle and started walking. He's like, yo, you swim all the way. You swim all the way. Like, I didn't know. I was like, all the way? So I didn't know I could even do it. But the thing that we used to do is used to wear, like, everyone wore Speedos, and then you'd wear like 2 Speedos to kind of really cover everything up and stuff. So I remember when, one year, my wife and I and we were at the apartment swimming pool back in the day, and I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna wear my Speedos like the old days." And then I think we had company over, and then they were making fun of my trunks, and I was like, "Maybe this isn't appropriate. I'm not really competing anymore." I'm like, you know, at that time, I think I'm like 38. This is weird. I'm at the community swimming pool. It's like, yeah, but you know, in my mind, I was still like, I'm a swimmer. You know, like, I was, yeah.
Every time I get invited to a pool party, we're used to, especially when I used to drink, I would bring my goggles. And because when I swim, I like to wear my goggles.
Yeah.
I like to see underwater. And my wife would be like, that's not what people mean by swimming party. It's like they're going to stand by the pool and drink wine. And I'm like trying to do laps. I'm like, it's a party, people. So like I get okay, I didn't understand.
Hilarious.
Pool parties are code for go drink near a pool. Like I'd rather bring your goggles. I have a swim cap.
Okay, that'd be hilarious. Yeah, you're all competitive. You're bringing the swim cap, this. You're doing like those kick turns under the water, off the wall. They're like, Kristin, come up. What are you doing? I'll be right with you. I got to be my personal best record.
10 more laps. 10 more laps. You guys are missing out.
It's time for
5 quick questions.
What's up, guys? How you like the show so far? Pretty good, right? Kind of weird that I'm out here in the country with the chair next to me, but anyways, if you like this show and you want to help out, go to Cameo. I do birthday shout-outs, anniversary shout-outs, or if you just want to do a donation, go to DarrenCarter.com, PayPal, or Venmo at Darren Carter Comic. Now let's get back to the show.
I can't let you go today without, I have to do trivia with all my guests. I got 2 more parts of the show, and I really appreciate you chit-chatting with me about your love of old school country. So that's kind of why I wrote your trivia around. You know, in the era of Tom T. Hall and Merle Haggard, David Allan Coe, there was 2 absolute greats in American country music, and that was Dolly Parton and Willie Nelson. So your trivia is you just have to tell me, is this Dolly or Willie?
All right, let me put my cowboy hat on for this.
Okay, yeah.
I'll put my cowboy hat. All right, and if I get it wrong, I'll take off my cowboy hat.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Number 1, they turned down Elvis Presley.
Dolly Parton.
That is correct. That is correct.
Oh, yes. I get to keep the hat on.
It's a great story, too. Elvis Presley wanted to sing I Will Always Love You, and Dolly Parton said sure. But Elvis's manager, Colonel Tom, called Dolly and said, we're not doing it if you don't give us 50% of the rights. And Dolly had the presence of mind to say, it's already doing pretty good. No, I'm not going to do that. And then Elvis was very disappointed that he never got to record that song. But Dolly was smart and hung on to her publishing rights.
That would have been awesome. I would have loved to have heard that, man.
Number 2, you got number 1 right. So number 2, which one of them wrote one of their biggest hits on a vomit bag? Yeah.
I'm going to say that would have been Willie Nelson.
That is correct. He wrote On the Road Again. He was on an airplane with Sidney Pollack. Sidney Pollack wanted a song for an upcoming movie and said, can you write something about being on the road? And Willie said, what about like On the Road Again? He goes, great, what's the tune? He goes, I don't know, I'll tell you later. And wrote that down on his sick bag And then
Making music with my friends. I just can't wait to get on the road again.
it's one of the greatest songs ever written. I play it on the guitar. It starts with that beautiful like rolling the guitar riff that makes it feel like Tires on Pavement.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, well, you are 2 for 2 so far. 2 for 2.
All right.
Okay. Number 3, you're doing great. Hat's still on. Is this Willie or Dolly? Wakes up at 3 a.m. to meditate every day.
Oh, I'm going to say, gosh, that's good because I've read Willie's books and I know he does stuff like that. I'm going to say Willie.
That is incorrect. That's Dolly. Dolly, he may meditate, but she gets up at 3 a.m. to do it. She says, I do more work between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. than most people do all day because it's quiet. All the energy's low except mine. I just get a lot done. Number 4. Holds 2 Guinness World Records.
I'm going to say Dolly Parton, and I'm going to say it has something to do with I Will Always Love You.
You're correct. It is Dolly Parton. She owns 2 Guinness World Records for most decades with a top 20 hit on the U.S. country chart and most hits on the U.S. country songs chart by a female artist. Those are her 2 Guinness Book of World Records because she has so many hits. Put that hat back on. All right, number 5. Sang a duet with a First Lady of the United States.
I'm going to say Jimmy Carter. I'm going to say it was Willie Nelson. It was probably with Rosalind Carter, I'm guessing.
That is correct. It was President Jimmy Carter's wife. Was a huge fan of Willie Nelson, and Willie Nelson ended up singing a song. So you have 4 out of 5. Great job. It is obvious that you are an old school country fan. Now it is time.
Yeah.
You got to stick around and play a real quick rad lib with me because no show is complete without a rad lib. And now it's time for rad libs. Darren Carter, here's what happened. I've written a story specifically for you, but I left out some parts of speech. If you give me those parts of speech, we're going to have a hilarious story. Are you ready to play rad libs?
I am ready. I'm ready.
All right.
Rad libs? I like that. It's funny.
Well, I wrote it, and I also don't want to get sued by Mad Libs. So here we go. It's a rad lib. I need a verb ending in ing.
Running.
Yes. Excellent. I need an occupation.
Farmer.
Oh. An animal.
Dog.
Aw. Got it. A family member.
My son Austin. On YouTube, he's known as Os the Bass Boss. Hey, can we give the dog a name? The dog, because we have a dog named Shaggy. If you want to.
Shaggy.
It works.
Oh.
And when we see him, we sing to him. We go Shaggy, Shaggy.
I bet Shaggy likes that.
Yeah, he runs away. It depends. It creeps him out with when we're both standing next to each other. It's like we must look so creepy to him, like father and son going Shaggy, Shaggy. He's like oh.
A nickname.
Rooster. That used to be my nickname.
A body part.
How about I was gonna say like arm muscles, like biceps.
Yes. A noun.
Oh, let's say a barn.
An adjective.
Pretty.
A business. Like a business name.
Mr. Pickles Pumpkin Patch.
Is this somewhere you're familiar with?
No, I just kind of made it up. It's one of my bits. They said there's a corn maze, and I just say Mr. Pickles Pumpkin Patch.
Mr. Pickles Pumpkin Patch. I love it. A liquid.
Liquid. Let's say coffee.
An adjective ending in est.
Fastest. Is
yes.
that correct? Okay.
It works really well there.
I'm like
a first name. It goes with coffee. Drink coffee. Fastest.
Yeah. First name. How about let's go with Bob. Yes.
Oh,
just keep
great
it simple.
Answer.
At Starbucks, I just go Bob. That way everyone knows how to spell it.
A color.
Red.
A question.
Will it start today? If that works, I don't know.
It does. What? Why did that pop into your head? Any reason?
I was just picturing like an old truck or an old car. Like, will it start today?
Oh, okay. I like it. An adverb.
Softly.
Oh, soft. Yes. Oh, that works really well there. A movie quote.
I'll be back.
A body part. Another body part.
Foot.
Yes. Excellent time to whip out a foot. An adjective.
Silky.
Excellent. That works. I love that. I know where these are going and you don't. A weapon.
Yeah. Weapon. An axe.
Oh, yeah. This story just got
Does
good.
that work?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow.
An injury.
Sprained ankle.
Yep. That's what it was. A farewell.
See you later, alligator.
And we have a story. We have a fantastic
right.
story. We have a great story. So excited. Written specifically for you. And it's just called The Greatest Country Western Song Ever Written. Oh my God. I can't wait to hear all about this. The Greatest Country Western Song Ever Written is a classic tale of a man who couldn't stop running. I think it's Forrest Gump. He was down on his luck. He had lost his farmer job. His dog Shaggy had run away, and he caught his wife sleeping with his son Austin.
Oh, damn.
His mama told him, "Rooster, you got your father's biceps, but the brains of a barn. Your only hope is to find a pretty woman and settle down." One night, while sitting alone in Mr. Pickle's pumpkin patch, drinking coffee, he locked eyes with the fastest lady he'd ever seen. Her name was Bob with hair of red. What was in that coffee? He walked up to her and gave her his best line. He said, "Hey, will it start today?" She softly smiled and answered, "I'll be back." Ready to profess his love, he took her foot in his hand. Suddenly in walked her silky boyfriend. Furious, he pulled out an axe and the two men began fighting. The song ends with the farmer falling to the ground with a fatal sprained ankle wound. He looks up at his true love and with his last breath says, "See you later, alligator."
Hey, we're the next Tom T. Hall. I like that.
I know, I was like, I might actually have to write this into a song because it's so good. Well, tell the viewers and listeners where they can find you and what you have coming up.
Oh, well, thank you so much for asking. Go to YouTube and look me up, Darren Carter, and subscribe to my channel. I put up videos almost daily. And I have a podcast as well. It's called Pocket Party. Pocket Party Podcast. And most of them are on YouTube. And besides that, I do a lot of vlogs. I just went to the Orange County Fair with my son and we vlogged it. And it's pretty cool.
Well, guys, if you're not already, become a fan and a follower of Darren Carter. Always a pleasure to see you. Thank you so much, man. You took me down memory lane today. This was awesome.
Oh, thank you. And, for the thumbnail, you can tell people that you had on Bruce Willis.
Interview complete. The party starter has left the party.
Big thanks to Darren Carter for coming onto the show. What a great show today.
We're done with this interview.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, then listen to The Pocket Party.